Good afternoon. Welcome to the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're thrilled to have you here in the Hall of Fame. We're grateful for all those who are tuned in on Fox Sports 1, watching the live stream on NASCAR.com, and tuned in on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. We appreciate you being here with us today for this historic announcement. We want to thank the thousands of fans that took the time to log in to NASCAR.com and vote on this year's class. Your votes have been accumulated to one vote and were factored into the decision that was made today. Earlier this morning, the voting panel met for approximately 5 hours to debate, discuss, and ultimately vote on the 5 new legends that will enter the Hall this January, and also to select the inaugural winner of the Landmark Award for NASCAR for outstanding contributions to NASCAR. We thank the voters for their passion, their preparation, and almost to a person today, every voter said that this was the hardest voting process out of the 6 classes. So we thank them for the good work they did in preparing and certainly for bringing the passion today. If you would like to review the ballots or the eligibility standards, please visit NASCAR.com. All of that information is there. We won't go through it today. As always, the voting has been overseen today by the accounting firm of Ernst & Young, and we're now joined on stage by Lauren Harju of Ernst & Young, who oversaw the voting and tabulated the votes today. Thank you, Lauren. To begin, we will announce the inaugural winner of the Landmark Award for Outstanding Contributions to NASCAR, which will become a permanent display in the Hall of Fame next January. This award was created to honor the significant defining contributions of individuals that helped with the emergence, growth, popularity, and development of our great sport from roles all across the industry. While not Hall of Famers, any recipient of the Landmark Award remains eligible for Hall of Fame induction at a later date. Likewise, sitting Hall of Famers could someday be nominated and win the Landmark Award. It is a very special award. Here to announce the inaugural winner of this very special award, please welcome NASCAR President Mike Helton.
Thank you, Brett. It's exciting that the evolution of our NASCAR Hall of Fame has now brought us to the opportunity of announcing the inaugural Landmark Award winner. As Brett mentioned, it's an opportunity to recognize individuals who may not have been in victory lane, may not receive trophies, but certainly played a very significant role in the development of, or certainly the growth and strength of NASCAR. And any of the 5 original, or the nominees for the original Landmark Award, certainly are entitled to win it, but there can only be one, unfortunately. And we've settled in on that today. So the 2014 Landmark Award is Anne Bledsoe France.
Big Bill France formed NASCAR in the late 40s. His son, Bill France Jr., kept the sport alive into the next century. But the story of another France is the story of nurturing NASCAR from infancy to a national phenomenon. Anne Bledsoe married Bill France in 1931. 2 years later, they started a family, a growing family. And family business kept Anne busy. But her experience in finance and administration served the Frances well. Over the decades, Anne B. France acted as secretary and treasurer of NASCAR, while also playing key roles at Daytona International Speedway and later the International Speedway Corporation. In looking after the faces, figures, and fans, Anne B. France became the matriarch of a motorsport empire.
Thank you, Mike, and congratulations to the entire France family. It certainly would not be a stretch to make the argument that none of us would be here today without the work of the France family in establishing this great sport. And now moving to the 2015 NASCAR Hall of Fame class, we can announce that there were no ties for the 5th position. Only one vote was necessary today. Now to announce the 2015 NASCAR Hall of Fame class, please welcome NASCAR Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Brian France.
Good afternoon, and Brett was right. This was undoubtedly the most difficult class to choose from. It was the most competitive and the most difficult. And with that, let's find out who's in the Hall of Fame. Please welcome Bill Elliott to the Hall of Fame.
With a nickname like Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, Bill Elliott was destined for NASCAR greatness. One of the most celebrated drivers of his era, Elliott's 44 Premier Series victories ranks him among the sport's top racers. A two-time winner of the Great American Race, Elliott was at his best on NASCAR's fastest racetracks.
Bill Elliott has won the Daytona 500.
In 1985, Elliott won an incredible 11 races, including the inaugural Winston Million, which earned him the nickname Million Dollar Bill.
Bill Elliott has won an additional $1 million in 1985.
Elliott also holds the NASCAR record for fastest qualifying time, going more than 212 miles per hour in 1987. Elliott capped off a decade of dominance by winning the 1988 Cup Championship.
As he finally wraps up that championship that he has sought so long.
Always a fan favorite, Bill Elliott's accomplishments in NASCAR forever changed the sport he so dearly loved.
This next inductee gives me a little additional pride because he undoubtedly, with his family, climbed the highest mountain. Wendell Scott's in the Hall of Fame.
Wendell Scott wasn't the first man to run a race, nor the first man to win a race. But he was the first man of his race to win, and a man looked at first as an inspiration for what a sport can do in building community.
I guess from all the years that he ran the car and stuff, I guess he was able to make a living for him and his family, and he really enjoyed racing. That was the main thing. He enjoyed everything that he did.
A mechanic by profession, Scott began his racing career on the same short tracks that tested other NASCAR pioneers.
I met Wendell Scott when we were both running in the Sportsman Series. He was a good competitor. I mean, he was one of the people that you had to beat.
Scott's race began before the green flag dropped, just to stand on the grid, shoulder to shoulder with his peers. Those were the obstacles overcome that made Wendell Scott a driver to be admired. In 1963, Scott was the first driver to the finish line in a 100-mile event at Jacksonville Speedway Park. Although he may not have been able to celebrate with the trophy in Victory Lane, his achievements that day is celebrated by all who followed down the road paved by Wendell Scott.
One of the pioneers of NASCAR, Joe Weatherly, is in the Hall of Fame.
Joe Weatherly took racing seriously, believe it or not.
Crown Prince of Racing is Pontiac's Joe Weatherly.
Little Joe Weatherly liked having fun, but his first love was winning. On the track, he was all business. In 1962 and 63, he won back-to-back titles.
61, I had my own complete team then. I had Joe Weatherly, in 61. And 62, we won the championship with Weatherly, 62 and 63.
On the green flag, Weatherly in number 9 pours on the coal.
One one of the early champions. Please welcome Rex White to the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion. And Rex White's career in NASCAR's Premier Series proved that heart and determination meant more than his size and stature.
First car that I ever seen go around the racetrack, I told my wife, I said, that's what I'd like to do.
Rex White's NASCAR career was a model of consistency. He finished among the top 5 in nearly half of his 233 races, while picking up 28 career wins.
White gets the checkered flag.
His average finish for his career was a remarkable 8.983. That ranks as 4th best in NASCAR history. White was a short track specialist in an era in which those tracks dominated the schedule. Wheeling his Gold Thunder Chevrolet, White won 6 times during his 1960 championship season, posting 35 top 10s in 40 starts, to win the title over Richard Petty and earning the Most Popular Driver and Stock Car Driver of the Year award. He was the 4th driver to win a Premier Series championship in his own equipment and was considered an innovator in how to set up a chassis. He finished in the top 10 6 of his 9 years in the series, including a runner-up finish to Hall of Famer Ned Jarrett in 1961. White was named one of the sport's 50 greatest drivers in 1998.
Finally, he's been called one of the smoothest drivers in NASCAR. He broke in from the north, hailed from Chicago. Please welcome Fred Lorenzen to the Hall of Fame.
Fred Lorenzen didn't fit the look of a stereotypical NASCAR driver. He was young, handsome, and being from Chicago, he was not one of the good old boys from the South. Teaming up with Ford's Holman and Moody operation in the early 1960s, Lorenzen was an instant success.
We perfected it. I had a great crew, Herb Nabb, Wayne Mills, and mechanics, were the best in the country, Holman Moody, John Holman, Ralph Moody. The best there was. I had the best of everything. Ford Motor Company. When you got it all, it's easier to do.
In 1963, Lorenzen became the first NASCAR driver to earn more than $100,000 in a single season. In 1965, he achieved his most notable victory by winning the 1965 Daytona 500. At the age of 33, Lorenzen retired in 1967, while still at the peak of his career.
Yep, I retired too early. I just got burned out traveling. I just got tired of living in motels. And I was running like, if I wasn't racing, I was making an appearance somewhere.
Lorenzen ended his career with 26 wins in NASCAR's Premier Circuit. And for many that would follow in his footsteps, Fred Lorenzen created the mold for the modern NASCAR driver.
Congratulations to all the inductees and certainly the very deserving nominees. We'll do this again next year. I look out and I see Chase Elliott. Guess you're not going to be the only one that lights up the siren in Dawsonville, Georgia this year. Congratulations to you all. We will honor each of these legends during the 2015 NASCAR Hall of Fame class inductions on Friday, January 30th, 2015, right here in Charlotte. We hope you'll all attend. Thank you again for being here. We hope you enjoy Coca-Cola 600 weekend. Thank you and goodbye from the NASCAR Hall of Fame.